Welcome to this explainer. If you've been watching the tech job market lately, you've probably noticed it's incredibly crowded out there, right? Literally everyone is fighting tooth and nail over those exact same React and Node jobs. Standing out, it's tougher than ever. But what if I told you there is this highly lucrative, specialized tech career path where the demand is actually outpacing the supply? Well, today we're decoding a Guidewire software career, and we'll look at how mastering this very specific ecosystem gives you a massive niche advantage. Let's get right into it. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the Guidewire ecosystem. Then, we'll cover why you should actually choose this career, followed by the essential skills and roles you'll need. And finally, we'll break down the salary and career roadmap. Let's jump in. Section 1, the Guidewire ecosystem. This is the absolute core of P&C insurance. So, first things first, we need to understand what Guidewire actually does. At its core, Guidewire InsuranceSuite is the software that powers the day-to-day operations for property and casualty, or P&C, insurers all over the globe. Think about those massive insurance companies for a second. For decades, they've been running on these incredibly old, expensive, just clunky legacy systems, literally 1980s green screen technology. Guidewire is the modern, cloud-ready alternative replacing those ancient dinosaurs. It is quite literally the heartbeat of modern insurance operations. If an insurer wants to, say, launch a new product super fast or offer a seamless digital experience to their customers, they rely on Guidewire to make it happen. Now, InsuranceSuite itself is essentially broken down into three distinct, really powerful pillars. First up, you have PolicyCenter. This handles quoting, underwriting, and actually issuing the policies. And as a quick aside, if you're just getting started in this field, PolicyCenter is usually the most common entry point for new developers. Next is ClaimCenter. This manages everything from the exact moment someone reports an accident all the way through the investigation and the final settlement. And finally, we have BillingCenter, which handles all the invoicing, the payments, collections, the whole shebang. Put them all together, and these three apps manage pretty much the entire life cycle of an insurance policy. Moving on to Section 2, why choose this career? Let's talk about that niche advantage. Take a look at a generic Java developer career. Sure, there are jobs out there, absolutely, but the market is heavily oversaturated. You're basically competing against thousands of other developers for roles that, frankly, offer moderate salaries and just fierce competition. Now, contrast that with the Guidewire career path. The talent pool here is so much smaller, which creates this high, super niche demand. Because these companies are practically desperate for professionals who actually understand this platform inside and out, they are more than willing to pay premium salaries. That scarcity, it works entirely in your favor. And honestly, the benefits go way beyond just a really good starting salary. We're talking about global job opportunities here. Insurers in the US, the UK, Europe, Asia, they all use this software. On top of that, Guidewire is right in the middle of a massive shift to the cloud, which means there are huge multi-year cloud transformation projects available right now. But perhaps the biggest perk? Insurance is a non-cyclical, absolutely essential industry. Look, people still need to insure their cars and homes, whether the economy is booming or we're in a recession, right? These core system implementations take years to finish, and that translates into incredible long-term job stability for you. All right, Section 3, essential skills and roles. Let's look at what it actually takes to get into this. Now, this is easily the most common question we get from freshers and transitioning developers. Do I need to know Java to get started? It's definitely the elephant in the room whenever we talk about enterprise software, so let's address it. So the short answer, having Java skills is incredibly helpful for sure, but Guidewire actually runs on its own proprietary object-oriented language called Gosu. Now, don't let that scare you because Gosu is heavily influenced by Java. So while you will be coding in Gosu, having a really solid foundation in Java, along with some SQL for your database queries, is going to make learning Gosu so much easier. Think of them as the perfect stepping stones into this ecosystem. You'll also end up working with XML and various APIs, but Gosu is where you're going to spend the vast majority of your time configuring the software. But here's the cool part. A career in Guidewire spans way beyond just standard coding. Sure, you have your configuration developers, and they focus on customizing the UI and the business rules. But you also have integration developers. This is a highly demanding and very well-compensated role, focused specifically on connecting Guidewire to external systems using REST and SOAP APIs. Then you've got cloud developers dealing with DevOps and container deployments. You've got business analysts who bridge that crucial gap between business needs and technical specs. And of course, QA engineers ensuring the whole thing doesn't break. So yeah, there really is a lane for almost every technical background here. So, who's actually hiring for all these roles? Well, it's pretty much a global who's who of IT services and consulting. We're talking industry giants: Accenture, Cognizant, Capgemini, TCS, Deloitte, Infosys, Wipro, and DXC Technology. They all run massive dedicated Guidewire practices. They are consistently staffing these large-scale global implementation programs. And for you, that often translates to some amazing opportunities for on-site travel and real international consulting exposure. Which brings us to Section 4, Salary and Career Roadmap. Let's talk about the financial upside because it is substantial. Now, let's anchor this in some hard numbers, specifically looking at the average salary tiers in India. If you're a fresher just starting out, you're looking at somewhere between 4 to 7 lakhs per annum. Jump up to a junior role with, say, 2 to 4 years of experience, and that climbs to 7 to 12 LPA. Hit the mid-level, and you're at 12 to 18 LPA. Seniors are pulling in 18 to 28 LPA. And if you make it to the architect level with 10 plus years of experience, wow, you're looking at 28 to 45 plus lakhs per annum. Remember what we said about that limited talent pool? Because of that scarcity, mid-level professionals in this space often earn significantly more than their peers in general-purpose tech. It's a huge advantage. So what does this progression actually look like day to day? Well, your first 0 to 2 years are really all about building those foundations, learning your Java, your SQL, and just grasping the basics of how the insurance industry works. Then, between years 2 and 6, you transition into a full developer role, where you're independently handling complex configuration or integration tasks. From years 6 to 10, you're moving into senior or tech lead roles, actively managing teams and ensuring code quality. And beyond 10 years, that's when you step up into solution or enterprise architecture, literally designing the end-to-end technical solutions for these massive insurance clients. Now, if you're sitting there wondering about the longevity of all this, I can tell you the future scope is incredibly bright. Right now, most existing Guidewire customers are actively migrating from their old on-premise setups directly into the Guidewire cloud. That means there is a massive, ongoing wave of work in cloud migrations, shifting toward API-first architectures and microservices. Plus, they are actively layering AI-powered automation onto these core systems to do things like fraud detection and better underwriting. The takeaway here, your skills are going to remain in incredibly high demand well into the future, way beyond 2026. Yes, it absolutely takes some dedicated learning to get past that initial curve. It's not a walk in the park. But the reward? You get way less competition, ironclad job security, and premium pay. So, while everyone else is out there fighting for scraps in a totally oversaturated market, the real question you have to ask yourself is, are you ready to pivot and finally claim your niche advantage?